Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Bible in a Year. My name is Natalie, and today we are on day 339. Welcome to the channel. I am so happy that you're here today. I am still on location in Minnesota, and I'm so happy that you've come by. We are going to be reading out of 2Chronicles chapter 10, Nahum chapter 3, and then we're going to close out our day in John chapter 7, but we're only going to be reading verses 1 through 36 today. So let's go ahead and get started in 2Chronicles chapter 10. Here we go. Rehoboam went to Shechem, for all Israel had come to Shechem to make him king. When Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, heard of it, for he was in Egypt, where he had fled from the presence of King Solomon, Jeroboam returned out of Egypt. They sent and called him, and Jeroboam and all Israel came, and they spoke to Rehoboam, saying, Your father made our yoke grievous. Now therefore make the grievous service of your father and his heavy yoke which he has put on us lighter, and we will serve you. He said to them, Come again to me after 3 days. So the people departed. King Rehoboam took counsel with the old men who had stood before Solomon his father while he yet lived, saying, What counsel do you give me about how to answer these people? And they spoke to him, saying, If you are kind to these people, please them, and speak good words to them, then they will be your servants forever. But he abandoned the counsel of the old men, which they had given him, and took counsel with the young men who had grown up with him, who stood before him. And he said to them, What counsel do you give, that we may give an answer to these people, who have spoken to me, saying, Make the yoke that your father put on us lighter? The young men who had grown up with him spoke to him, saying, Thus you shall tell the people who spoke to you, saying, Your father made our yoke heavy, but make it lighter on us. Thus you shall say to them, My little finger is thicker than my father's waist. Now whereas my father burdened you with a heavy yoke, I will add to your yoke. My father chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. So Jeroboam and all the people came to Rehoboam the 3rd day, as the king asked, saying, Come to me again the 3rd day. The king answered them roughly, and King Rehoboam abandoned the counsel of the old men, and spoke to them after the counsel of the young men, saying, My father made your yoke heavy, but I will add to it. My father chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. So the king didn't listen to the people, for it was brought about by God, that Yahweh might establish his word, which he spoke by Ahiah the Shilonite to Jeroboam the son of Nebat. When all Israel saw that the king didn't listen to them, the people answered the king, saying, What portion do we have in David? We don't have an inheritance in the son of Jesse. Every man to your tents, Israel. Now see to your own house, David. So all Israel departed to their tents. But as for the children of Israel, who lived in the cities of Judah, Rehoboam reigned over them. Then King Rehoboam sent Hadoram, who was over the men, subject to forced labor, and the children of Israel stoned him to death with stones. King Rehoboam hurried to get himself up to his chariot to flee to Jerusalem. So Israel rebelled against David's house to this day. It's an interesting piece of history. All right. Moving into Nahum chapter 3. We are going to be finishing the book of Nahum. That surprised me. I thought it had more chapters in it. So here we go. Woe to this bloody city! It is full of lies and robbery, no end to the prey. The noise of the whip the noise of the rattling of wheels, prancing horses and bounding chariots, the horsemen charging and the flashing sword, the glittering spear and the multitude of slain, and a great heap of corpses, and there is no end of the bodies. They stumble on their bodies because of the multitude of the prostitution of the alluring prostitute, the mistress of witchcraft, who sells nations through her prostitution and families through her witchcraft. Behold, I am against you, says Yahweh of armies, and I will lift your skirts over your face. I will show the nations your nakedness and the kingdoms your shame. I will throw abominable filth on you and make you vile, and will make you a spectacle. It will happen that all those who look at you will flee from you and say, Nineveh is laid waste. Who will mourn for her? Where will I seek comforters for you? Are you better than Nahum, who was situated among the rivers, who had the waters around her, whose rampart was the sea, and her wall was of the sea? Cush and Egypt were her boundless strength. Put and Libya were her helpers. Yet was she carried away. She went into captivity. Her young children also were dashed into pieces at the head of all the streets, and they cast lots for her honorable men, and all her great men were bound in chains. You also will be drunken. You will be hidden. You also will seek a stronghold because of the enemy. All your fortresses will be like fig trees with the first ripe figs. If they are shaken, they fall into the mouth of the eater. Behold, your troops among you are women. The gates of your land are set wide open to your enemies. The fire has devoured your bars. Draw water for the siege. Strengthen your fortresses. Go into the clay and tread the mortar. Make the brick kiln strong. There the fire will devour you. The sword will cut you off, and it will devour you like the grasshopper. Multiply like grasshoppers. Multiply like the locusts. You have increased your merchants more than the stars of the skies. The grasshopper strips and flees away. Your guards are like the locusts, and your officials like the swarms of locusts, which settle on the walls of the cold day. But when the sun appears, they flee away, and their place is not known where they are. Your shepherds slumber. King of Assyria, your nobles lie down. Your people are scattered on the mountains, and there is no one to gather them. There is no healing your wound, for your injury is fatal. All who hear the report of your all who hear the report of you clap their hands over you, for who hasn't felt your endless cruelty? Okay, let's close out the day. John 7, verses 1 through 36. After these things, Jesus was walking in Galilee, for he wouldn't walk in Judea, because the Jews sought to kill him. Now the feast of the Jews, the feast of booths, was at hand. His brothers therefore said to him, Depart from here and go into Judea, that your disciples also may see your works which you do. For no one does anything in secret while he seeks to be known openly. If you do these things, reveal yourself to the world. For even his brothers didn't believe in him. Jesus therefore said to them, My time has not yet come, but your time is always ready. The world can't hate you, but it hates me, because I testify about it, that its works are evil. You go up to the feast. I am not yet going up to this feast, because my time is not yet fulfilled. Having said these things to them, he stayed in Galilee. But when his brothers had gone up to the feast, then he also went up, not publicly, but as it were in secret. The Jews therefore sought him at the feast and said, "Where is he?" There was much murmuring among the multitudes concerning him. Some said, "He is a good man." And others said, "Not so, but he leads the multitude astray." Yet no one spoke openly of him for fear of the Jews. But when it was now the middle of the feast, Jesus went up into the temple and taught. The Jews therefore marveled, saying, "How does this man know letters, having never been educated?" Jesus therefore answered them, "My teaching is not mine, but his who sent me. If anyone desires to do his will, he will know about the teaching, whether it is from God, or if I am speaking from myself. He who speaks from himself seeks his own glory, but he who seeks the glory of him who sent him is true, and no unrighteousness is in him. Didn't Moses give you the law? And yet none of you keep the law. Why do you seek to kill me?" The multitude answered, "You have a demon. Who seeks to kill you?" And Jesus answered them, "I did one work, and you all marvel because of it. Moses has given you circumcision, not that it is of Moses, but of the fathers. And on the Sabbath you circumcise a boy. If a boy receives circumcision on the Sabbath, that the law of Moses may not be broken, are you angry with me because I made a man completely healthy on the Sabbath? Don't judge according to appearance, but judge righteous judgment." Therefore some of them of Jerusalem said, "Isn't this he who they seek to kill? Behold, he speaks openly, and they say nothing to him. Can it be that the rulers indeed know that this is truly the Christ? However, we know where this man comes from, but when the Christ comes, no one will know where he comes from." Jesus therefore cried out in the temple, teaching and saying, "You both know me and know where I am from. I have not come of myself, but he who sent me is true, whom you don't know. I know him because I am from him, and he sent me." They sought therefore to take him, but no one laid a hand on him, because his hour had not yet come. But of the multitude many believed in him. They said, "When the Christ comes, he won't do more signs than those which this man has done, will he?" The Pharisees heard the multitude murmuring these things concerning him, and the chief priests and the Pharisees sent officers to arrest him. And then Jesus said, "I will be with you a little while longer. Then I go to him who sent me. You will seek me and won't find me. You can't come where I am." The Jews therefore said among themselves, "Where will this man go that we won't find him? Will he go to the dispersion among the Greeks and teach the Greeks? What is this word that he said, 'You will seek me and won't find me,' and 'Where I am, you can't come'?" I enjoy reading the Gospels so much, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. But I still, no matter how many times I read it, I can't wrap my head around the fact that the Jews, Pharisees, and Sadducees were so well educated, and they could not see that Jesus was the Son of God. They had been waiting forever, for generations, and they couldn't see it. Not that I would have seen it. Maybe I wouldn't have seen it either. Maybe I would have thought he was just a crazy loon. I don't know what I would have thought of. I have the benefit of hindsight, Anyway, blows my mind. So that concludes today. Thank you for coming on by. Stop in tomorrow for day 340. I have I have no idea where I will be. Maybe I'll still be here. Maybe I'll be at home. We'll wait for tomorrow to find out. Have a fantastic day, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.